the both of you were actually caught on video gesturing into the crowd and supposedly telling your supporters to break through the barricade, and moments later the barricade was blown. Can you tell us what happened on that day?
This is your version, or?
We have it on video.
Yes, but do you see the entire version? Do you see that I was saying this to the crowd? Don't go to the left, move to the right. You dengar? Did you hear that I said, tolong arah ke kanan. Tolong arah ke kanan. You didn't see that?
Yes, we saw that.
Okay, thank you. Then
what about the gesture?
Oh, yes. Then what was the gesture? I said, what is nego? Negotiate. Because the crowd refused to move. You saw that. I mean, those who were there, you can see the crowd said, some, you can see from I also watched all the versions of the video. Unlike some UMNO goons who said, kanan means Dataran Merdeka. I mean, the kanan means Jalan Tun Razak. Yeah. Tetapi, it is a fundamental question, Jalan Tunku Abdurrahman, I'm sorry, Jalan Tunku Abdurrahman. The fundamental question is that a crime to move into Dataran Merdeka? That is the first question we must realize. Just because some of the rakyat decide to move to Dataran Merdeka, is that an offense or a crime in this country? The decision by Bersih, which Tian may explain because he was involved, is to assemble from 2 to 4, sit in at Dataran Merdeka 2 to 4, and that was about 3 o'clock where you're talking about. Now, the gesture, you focus on what I said, nego. Make sure you start talking to the police officers behind you, because I saw this guy with this dress to Azmin. I said, so that was, as you can see from the video, with gesture, this gesture. This means move. This means move. Break means break. Break. But I said, gesture. No, I'm not going to, actually, my decision in coming here, I'm not going to be broke. To me, even you say some of the youth broke in, I will defend their decision. Let me make it very clear. To me, going through to Dataran Merdeka is the right of the people. Although as a responsible leader, we have asked them to disperse even minutes earlier. I've asked them to turn right. That was my decision. But I will defend the rights of our youth who decide to move. But to accuse or to allege, again, because there is, of course, the style of the media here, that I was responsible in directing, that you have to defend that effect. I therefore support when PAS called for a Royal Commission of Inquiry or for Suhakam to act immediately, because otherwise you are at the mercy of the UMNO controlled media. They want to cover up the entire case. They don't want to talk about Bersih. They don't want to talk about 300,000 people who came in. They will only talk about, well, you remove the barricades. Now, removing the barricades is a major crime in this country. Cheating in the elections is not. Murder is not. Stealing billions of dollars is not a crime. So, let me be very clear. If you want to talk about the video clipping, I'm with you on that. But then let's have an independent investigations to support or to investigate what actually transpired in that slight incident. I know, particularly the UMNO control media, will only want to focus on this. That is why I made sure there's a written text to support. Because what I'm concerned is Merdeka Rakyat, Hari Merdeka Rakyat. That is, to my mind, is more important.
You say, even if you say some broke it, I will defend your position. Right? You said that. But doesn't that go against what America had said, that no one should go and break whatever the barricade? That goes exactly opposite what America has said.
That's what I said too. We turn to the right.
But you just said that.
No, let me finish.
Someone's decision.
Yeah, our decision is to move to the right. You see, those who came in have the impression that we were supposed to assemble at Dataran Merdeka. You see, there was the clear message to everybody. You come in to assemble at Dataran Merdeka. And the only area that's confined are the green grass area. The rest, they should be there. All right. Now, you can see from the video, I took up, because I thought that the situation was a bit tense. I was bigger, then I went up and spoke and said, look, I did this to the people. Appealing to them, because they can sense that. But apparently they say, look, you promised Dataran Merdeka. You see? I mean, this was the statement for everybody. I mean, we know assemble di Dataran Merdeka, duduk di Dataran Merdeka. A word is allowed. So I say, go to the kanan. Dia tak mau dengar. Do I condemn them because of that? I mean, that's the issue. Do I defend or condemn them? I choose to defend them. Did I, what was my decision? My decision was to ask them to move to the right. And this was very clear. I think my conscience is very clear, you see. But you also understand this is what we call power of enormity. There's enormous amount of support, and people come in not because of Anwar or Ambiga or Bersih or Keadilan or Pakatan Rakyat. You have this enormous support, people who want change and justice. So I think we have to learn to accord and to respect them. Right.
The thing is this, I think what people want to know is that he did not instigate the crowd. In short, he didn't instigate the crowd.
No, I mean, that's what I'm saying, you know, because I say that I don't want to sound too apologetic. I, in fact, appeal to the crowd to move to the right. You see, an UMNO MP said, the right is Dataran Merdeka. And that was now spread all over the UMNO blocks. You see, this is evidence. I mean, these are, you know, jokers. Right, we know. We are facing, you know, the left was Dataran Merdeka. That, you know, and they know. You see the gesture, I was really appealing. You know, I don't give instructions. Who am I to give instructions? I'm not an UMNO president to give instructions. You see? I appeal to the crowd, and I know the sentiment. The people are enraged. They say, look, we come here with that solemn promise to go to Dataran Merdeka. But still, because I saw the too many of the Ferrari, you know, truck, I can see, because I stood up, I saw, when I moved in, I didn't, see, until there. So I know, I would anticipate, I've been long enough in the game. So I appeal. So you are right in saying that, okay, I appeal to them to move to the right. So there's no question, at no point at all. Now, since UMNO lackeys cannot prove that I said anything, they said, no, but then the gesture is, this means break. Dalam itu you can argue, but the best is, no, you want to investigate. Cuma, I think the question is, do you then condemn those fellas? I'm not prepared to condemn them, you see, unless they commit a crime. I mean, they go beat people up, atau you know, public property, pukul orang, then I will not.
Some cases that apparently the police claim that some members of the police council actually assaulted policemen on that. Can you comment on that?
No, anyone assaulted. But why is, for example, the UMNO and the MCA media only talk about police being assaulted? Do I agree with the police being assaulted? No, my sympathies goes to him. But why are you silent about the hundreds being beaten and kicked? You mean to say people are coolies? Are they slaves in this country? That you only defend the police being beaten up and the hundreds are not beaten up? Can you even defend the fact or accept the fact that people on their own volition will go and just beat up the police? So I think my concern is, let us be just here. If you think that you believe and there is evidence of a police being beaten, then you can investigate. I can't defend any criminal act. Criminal act by the police, criminal act by any individual. But what I'm expressing my disgust with this hypocrisy is, you know, you are blinded to the fact that 300,000 people came, hundreds are beaten and kicked in hotel lobbies, in the lorries, in the police lockup, and you are just silent. That is, to me, unacceptable.
This
particular video raised by FNT now, it was clear that there was an exchange.
Yes.
This is the part where people are curious about. And if I may direct my question now to YB Azmin.
Yes.
You received that exchange. It sounded like you were talking to each other. You were having an exchange. The thing is, if you did not condone people breaking through those barricades, why did YB Azmin did not tell this person of his right in the video, don't go in, don't break through? Can you address?
Yeah, Azmin will clarify, but let me just say first, I just reiterate what you said earlier. My position is very clear. What was the exchange? Because we saw the crowd not responding to my appeal. So I said, please. In fact, if you look, I remember vividly, I said, nego, quickly, nego. You negotiate quickly with the police officers. You know?
What do you try to negotiate?
No, to try to tell them I did back off a bit, or give us time to you know, just cool down the crowd, because microphone covers only for a few hundred people around. There was a problem to convey the message. That's why when Ambiga wanted, you know, earlier when we announced, I said to Ambiga, we either if you don't go down, the people will not follow. But Ambiga with me said, where do we go down to? The crowd macam tu, tak boleh keluar. I mean, we're stuck in that crowd, so we moved on. So I think from my point of view, because it's not too far from Azmin, so I would say, yeah, negotiate. Because I think keadaan was getting a bit tense at that particular point in time. I don't deny the fact that there was an exchange with Azmin. So let Azmin continue.
Okay, you wanted to know what was the exchange.
Tengok sini.
Okay.
Specifically, why did you?
Yeah, man, you address him, but you.
Gesture to.
Because when you were like
Yeah. Okay, let me explain.
Yeah, let him explain first then.
Don't get too excited. You wanted to know what was the exchange. Datuk Sri Anwar has explained, because it was so noisy. There's no way we can communicate. So the gesture was for me to negotiate with the police. All right? It was clearly stated by Datuk Sri Anwar. And my response was, I had negotiated with the police. That was my gesture, which I did before Datuk Sri Anwar came to that location. I met
With who?
with one of the senior police officers who was on guard at the barricade. And I'm sure there's some photographers who took the photographs when I negotiated with the police. So my gesture was to tell Datuk Sri Anwar, yes, I had negotiated with the police. That's it. I didn't give any instruction to the rakyat to breach the barricades. So,
Who was the police officer that you met?
well, I can't remember the name.
But is it on photo, video? I think we can find.
I'm sure we can find on the video clips.
No,
But I did.
on that question, whether who is the police
Okay,
officer?
when I negotiated with the police officer was trying to ask his consent for us to move into Dataran Merdeka peacefully. The answer was, saya belum dapat arahan. That was the response by the police officer. And he appealed to me, can you talk to your supporters to calm them? So I did. I told my supporters, okay, duduk dan tenang. That was my instruction. We had video clips on that. So tidak benar sama sekali. Sebab itu saya setuju, ini adalah propaganda UMNO dan Barisan Nasional untuk menutup police brutality, keganasan polis terhadap orang awam dan juga jurnalis. Saya nak cabar kalau polis nak siasat, seperti yang telah didedahkan oleh pemimpin tertinggi UMNO, ada 2,000 anggota polis yang dilantik sebagai penghasut dalam Perhimpunan Bersih 3. Mengapa perkara ini tidak disiasat? Ini didedahkan oleh Ketua Strategi UMNO sendiri, Datuk Zaharin Muhammad Yassin, dalam Sina. Mengapa polis tidak ambil tindakan untuk menyiasat? Mengapa polis melantik lebih 2,000 anggota polis sebagai ejen penghasut untuk mencetuskan huru-hara dalam perhimpunan ini? Mengapa nak ditumpukan soal barricade? Tapi saya dan Datuk Sri Anwar mengambil pendirian yang tegas. Itu penjelasan yang nak saya beri.
Why did you not take immediate measures to stop supporters
Let me.
Well, I did earlier. I did much earlier. I told the crowd that please sit down because the process of negotiation is still ongoing. I did.
No, the question is specific.
Okay,
What
the question
happened
is
after?
specific.
Yeah.
Then turn to your
What,
right.
turn to the right and
Was
then.
an Indian male standing below you.
Well,
in a yellow shirt, and you spoke to him.
I didn't speak to him.
He pointed at you and nodded and proceeded to open the fence. What was the exchange?
Well, because as I said earlier, the gesture was to tell Datuk Seri Anwar and also the crowd that I had negotiated with the police.
Understand that?
Yeah.
With the residential name was that.
But I didn't tell them to breach the barricade.
So what was the exchange? Because he clearly was speaking.
Well, of course, I can't remember, but I'm sure he asked me whether I did talk to the police. I said yes. That's it. I mean, that was my position. I mean, clearly, my conscience is clear.
But
I
moments,
took the initiative to talk to the police officer. I negotiated with the police officer
Do you have any reason why he then proceeded to open the fence?
because dia dah jawab, dia kata saya tengah tunggu arahan. That was the
No, as
response.
in the Indian male, the yellow t-shirt, why did he then proceed to open
You
the
should
fence?
ask him.
You should ask him.
No,
Let me also.
No, wait. I was there atas tu bila tengok. You see bila tengok. This you can see in the video. By the time kita ada exchange tu, ramai. You kan dia barricade daripada kiri kanan sampai kiri. I tengok tengah Azmin di situ. Belah kanan dah dibuka.
Yeah.
Kanan dibuka. Don't yeah.
Ni
So,
bangunan Sultan
ya,
Besar.
dia belah ujung tu dia dibuka, orang dah boleh masuk. That's when I then move down because dalam keadaan macam tu tak boleh.
Okay, let me also say. Let me also say.
Biar Tian tambah sikit dan kita.
Saya berada di paling hujung sekali. That is to the Jalan Parlimen, because I'm at the extreme end of the last one. While the cameras are all there, which I actually did not realize that on Anwar's side, the barricades had been opened. In fact, the barricade was opened on my side earlier than their side. So the fountain, they already ceroboh. People already moved to the fountain with the monkey pots. If people remember, there's a rouse going. So, in fact, the what's it called? The police on that side already took positions to load their canister, right? But actually, if you look carefully, all the unit Amar put out their hand trying to stop. But the people are just rushing through. I mean, I don't think any one of us can stop thousands of people who want to go to Dataran. Again, I say it again, as people who has participated in peaceful demonstrations so many times, it is not a crime. People want to occupy Dataran. The student has tried to occupy Dataran 1 week before. All of us are sympathetic with them. We think this is their right. So I think that's my last point is, if the police being tasked just to ensure no one go into the barricades, they defend that ground, which is fair enough, right? Although I disagree that they shouldn't, but they went 3 streets down the block to hunt down people who wearing yellow, go and attack people, arresting people, and bashing up people. So to me, whether the barricades was broken or not, it is a premeditated violence. They are intended to be done by police to use it. Even if that didn't happen, as long as people are still roaming on the street with yellow shirts, the police has done it. Then the focus is, why is that need to beat up people down the block for people who never ceroboh inside? That's the issues.
Tapi kita boleh sambung ya. Tapi saya nak tanya, pasal apa tak ada concern ratus kena pukul? Rata pukul di luar daripada kawasan itu. Berbatu luar daripada situ. Apa masalah? Sekarang ni 300,000 berhimpun bukan isu. Tuntutan dia nak ada pilihan raya bersih bukan isu.
Because Dato' Sri, here's the thing,
No, let me finish.
wait. I was one of the birthday protesters that were
Isu
down
dia
there.
semata-mata barricade.
Hang on.
Ya.
I was one of the birthday protesters that were down there at the Soho area. Okay, when the tear gas had gone in, when we heard that the tear gas had gone in, there was a stampede. There was a wave that came in. Now, if it's true that the protesters had actually gone through the barricade on their own volition, right? Then then we've lost the case already. We've lost the case for Percent 3. You know, we were always predicating on the fact that it was going to be a peaceful protest, right? But
all right.
we saw what happened.
So maknanya,
I think we want to
okay,
go
maknanya bila orang those who came, were they aware that they wanted to go to Dataran Merdeka? First question. Yes, all of them were clearly aware they are going peacefully to Dataran Merdeka and sit at Dataran Merdeka. Who are we to say no to them? All right.
But
just because
it
of
should have been leadership, is what it is.
Yeah. Look.
There should have been leadership because a lot of people from where I was could have been killed.
Yes.
Could have been easily killed.
So you don't blame the police for shooting people at the Sogo?
But the thing is that we cannot assume that the police department would react the way that any other professional police department. Come on, were we born yesterday? This is PDRM we're talking about.
Yeah, that is why we're calling for reform. Okay? Let us be clear. You don't erase the rule of 300,000 people. Don't ever forget the fact that they came in and their own volition, prepared to take the risk, and there's no fear. I saw people with helicopters flying. Ambil gambar. What does it mean? They don't care whether the PDRM takes their photograph or not. Now, I am just saying that don't fall to this UMNO instigated game of trying to deviate from the central issue of the Bersih demands, or the demand by the 300,000 people who came with all separate agenda line, etc., etc., wanting change. And this has not erased to my mind. If we succumb to the UMNO media propaganda, then we fail. My call today is never forget the main agenda. Yes, when you have 300,000 people, nowhere in the world can you make sure that every member who comes in will follow strictly and rigidly to your instructions. Whose instructions? Whose instructions finally? Because I saw why then I took up, because I saw everybody now at that time, the tents, everybody backed off. That's why I went up with the risk. I know the risk. I know that the moment I go up, you see the police canister there. Everybody did like that. But what do we do in such circumstances? But I still maintain, although I disagree, my instruction is to go to the right, I still maintain, notwithstanding all this, it was a major a landmark decision by the Rakyat to speak their mind. This is the greatest fear of the UMNO leaders. That is why you see the entire discourse, the entire media report will erase that part. It's our duty, including the 300,000 present, is to make sure you go back on that discourse. Our role, our duty is to make sure that we go back to our discourse. The dictate of discourse must be those who participated in the rally, not the corrupt leaders and their media. That, to my mind, is very important. Can we move? I mean, to me, it's not fair to the 300,000 for us to talk about the, 5,000, 10,000 who broke the barricade.
What you're saying in short is, yes, on Saturday, the people took control, right? And the party did not have any influence on the actions that day. That is what you're saying.
Generally, I mean, 300,000 for 3-4 hours, we were all together.
Yeah, so the party...
To me, if I say this, then utusan deadline, besok semua lose control. You want that to happen? You want that to happen? I mean, I know your interest, you're asking question, but you know the danger of this line? What the utusan on the Star and the Straits Times, day of shame, is a shame to the media. I remember MJ Akbar's reaction as a senior, one of the leading journalists of India. He said it's a rotten shame for a newspaper to be writing like that. When 300,000 speak their mind and have the courage to demand change, and you have these lackeys in the media selling their soul to the corrupt leaders by condemning them. All right. So I'm not trying to evade your question, but How do you erase 300,000? They're so peaceful. People are so friendly. And you have huge groups of Chinese and Malays, people, you know, with ropes, all coming together. I see these as
So
means.
it's just the allegations are thrown against you. Oh,
No, there is no
Wait.
loss control.
Allegation,
No.
assuming I didn't attend, you mean to say they will not allege against me? I mean, our young brother was right. I mean, he was born yesterday. Whether I was in prison, still, every single problem is directed. No, and of course, there's a position. I mean, where else? How else can UMNO survive?
I want to go back to the Indian man. You said that you have no idea what he did. But people are saying that he's a PKR member from Sri Lanka. And I have seen him personally all the way back from Bukit Selamba by elections.
Okay.
I don't have his membership details. I'm not a Saifuddin.
What do you want?
So the question is,
saying that you don't know this man or you've never met him. Or is he a PKR member? Is any action going to be taken? Is there any action going to be taken?
The issues again and again, the barricades was not broken at that point. The barricades were broken at a various point. Again, I want to stress it again, that nothing to do with the barricade. We are talking about police losing control. The barricades, if the barricade was not broken, you mean the police would not go 3 blocks down to beat up people? I'm not born yesterday. I also know that that would happen.
So why they allowed people to march all the way to Dataran? With all due respect, notwithstanding, the issue now is it was clear from the video that there was an exchange, and like insider reporter said, there was an exchange. The Indian man went on to go to the barricades. So don't you?
No, I'm not trying to. Yeah, that's why I say
The issue we want to know here is what was this exchange? What led them to
the
go to
exchange.
And
between me and Azmin, or?
The barricades.
No, between exchange between us, me here.
Yes.
I've
And
explained.
then subsequently, the Indian gentleman went and broke the barricades and all that. Notwithstanding everything else, it was clear that the police reacted with tear gas because the barricades were broken. So now we want to know why were the barricades broken?
Also, Dato' Sri, the barricades were broken seemingly behind YB Azmin as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was at the position.
No, just before you, maknanya now you are not, you want a clarification. My exchange with Azmin pun tak settle lagi.
Yes, clear. Your exchange with Azmin.
Okay, now you want an exchange between Azmin and the whoever.
And he appears to be a PKR.
Dato' Sri, very sorry, because it's clear everywhere. People are saying, people are accusing, you cannot stop them from accusing.
No, it's okay.
Saying that this Indian male is a PKR member from Sri Lanka. And because he was speaking to, in the video, clearly speaking to YB Azmin.
Alright, let
And
him
it's like
explain.
YB Azmin did not take steps to stop this male from breaking the barricades. Okay, YB Tianchua said that, whether or not they broke through the barricades, the police would still have acted the way they were. But the thing here is, people are saying
The pretext lah. The police use that as a pretext.
the first step, the first shot was fired by PKR.
There was no shot.
Again, they want to know your exchange with somebody on your right.
Ada dua soalan. Satu, kedudukan saya di situ. Saya berada di situ setelah saya mengadakan rundingan dengan pegawai polis. So certainly I was at that particular position because the police officer was on the other side of the barricade. Okay, so I was quite close to the barricade during the negotiation, and that's where we had our negotiation. That's one.
Job to talk to the cops all about this guy.
Yeah, I did. Wait, let me clear that because that was the question raised just now. Why I was there, very close to the barricade. Okay, so I answered that. Yang kedua ialah my communication ataupun exchange dengan that Malay, that Indian male, which was said to be behind me. There was no communication, as I said earlier. It was so noisy. So when I gave that gesture to Datuk Seri Anwar to indicate that I had negotiated with the police, then he might ask me a similar question. I nodded. I said, yes, I did. I did have the negotiation with the police. That's it. And yang ketiga, daripada mana? Yang ketiga, kalau kita tengok balik video klip itu,
banyak dia UMNO.
tengok balik video klip itu, very few people that went beyond the barricades. The road was still very clear. Tak ramai pun yang went beyond the barricade, walaupun barricade tu dah dibuka. Yang keempat, saudara Tian beritahu tadi, barricade dah buka bukan di situ, dia buka di museum, di near the Band Negara, the fountain. That was the first part where they open up the barricade. So, what is the issue here? There's no instruction, there's no communication at all.
But do you know this man?
I don't know, I have to check with... that's why
Kita tengok video, we look lah.
So in short, you don't have any conversation with that man?
No.
No. You tanya, apparently somebody said we can recognize. I mean, this will be in the video. Maknanya kalau Azmi tengok, I'm sure dia boleh remember. Kalau ramai pun. Kalau you tanya, I dalam sepanjang tu bincang dengan siapa, I would remember. Tapi kalau you tunjuk video dalam perjalanan even towards the end, this I watched before the PC. I did watch the whole version. Not the UMNO punya version. UMNO version kanan Dataran Merdeka. Bukti, tak boleh bohong kita. Kemudian all the UMNO punya kita tetap sokong. Orang kita pun confused. Tanya, betul Datuk Seri ni? You kata kanan kan? Itu dah clear bukan?
That's right. And if this man is a PKR member, will action be taken?
Well, depend what he does. I mean, if he is confirmed that he goes against our decision, then we have to investigate. I mean, assuming, I don't know. I tak tahu. Sebab bila lepas itu, bila dah nampak polis tembak, I terus turun and they drag me out, see.
Okay. I nampak you punya sign lah ke kanan tu, I nampak. Tapi Azmi, I nampak Dataran boleh masuk Dataran.
Itu bohong lah.
I nampak
Itu memang pembohongan.
You di belakang Azmin. You masuk belah, you dah pecah bracket dah awal.
Ada masa yang
Oh, UMNO boleh masuk dalam. I see. Reporter UMNO boleh.
Minta maaf lah, saya jangan salah kamu apa, kita orang datang dalam tugas. Jawab ada tugas.
Ya, itu saya jawab. Dia boleh baca semua UMNO ni. Itu yang masalah dia.
Sebab dia tu sendiri, masa...
Because dalam you baca belum UMNO, tak pernah dia nak lapor. Dia macam utusan jugalah.
Saya kan ada di besar depan Datuk Seri. Sebelum kemudian dia berlaku, peserta telah pijak dulu kawat besi.
Ya, 215.
Selain pada pijak, dia ambil apa ni?
Sebelum tu lagi.
Ya, sebelum tu.
So why polis tak ambil action? Orang dah pijak.
Sebab dia orang tak masuk lagi.
So
Jangan you jawab untuk polis lah. Jangan you jawab untuk polis.
Dan kalau begitu mengapa nak salahkan kita?
Jangan jawab untuk polis.
Alright, so you what you are say, apa yang sudah katakan ialah bahawa lama sebelum itu orang sudah cuba pecahkan barricade itu tanpa apa-apa halangan polis. Itulah jadi you kata tak apalah. Itu maklumat baru, saya tak tahu.
I was standing where barricades were breached. I heard people shouting, ada lubang boleh masuk. But when people tried to do it, I must stop just like that.
Yeah.
But the police were also stationed and did not take any action. So what was so different about this particular barricade breach, which led to the police shooting against us, while it was seen allegedly talking to this Indian gentleman. So what was so different about that particular breach that led the police to fire tear gas when the barricades had already been breached earlier? So what's so different about this?
We don't sure. We do not know why. There's something that we cannot explain.
Okay. Lain. No, tapi saya nak appeal satu. I mean, I would like to appeal one point. I mean, it doesn't matter, UMNO or whatever. You know, don't erase the struggle of the 300,000 people. Okay? That is important. This is a historic moment in this country. Okay? Now, of course, the whole issue is this barricade. The whole issue is barricade. The barricade, whoever right or wrong, cannot erase the momentous development in history. My position here is to remind, particularly those who participate, because they are very gullible too. They are excited. They think they can control. You know, with one mic covering 100 people, they think they can give instruction to 300,000 people. And that's why you must understand what is power of enormity, and appreciate the fact that it has been peaceful right through, and youth, Malays or Chinese or Indians or whatever, you know, have done their bit, and I think you must then commend them for this remarkable feat. Okay, that is my role here, my intention to remind. Because I think in the last one day, you can see this whole thing is being diverted, and just for to benefit the UMNO leadership, to erase the whole thing. And they, of course, the whole thing about the Merdeka, Dataran Merdeka. But you know, for the young, I mean, I've been after that met even yesterday, last night in Bandar Tora. They said, Datuk, what is this? I mean, this group of young guys went and met me in Batu last night. They said, you told us, no, it's not me, but then, you know, at least the organizers always said, pergi Dataran Merdeka. Why are not people not defending us? Why are you blaming us for wanting to go to Dataran Merdeka? The entire position was Dataran Merdeka. Ingat sama Saidnya, Dataran penjajah. Jadi kita nak merdekakan. So that has been the message right through. So they appeal to me. Sebab tu I said, I will defend them. You know. Walaupun saya tidak setuju, tapi dia buat, saya tidak anggap itu satu crime. Walaupun saya tahu sebagai orang yang bertanggungjawab, saya persuaded. Okey? Yang belum lagi tadi.
Merujuk tadi yang di Dataran.
Dari mana?
Sina Harian. Yang tadi mengawal di Dataran, dan kemudiannya unit amal yang berada di hadapan dua line yang merempuh polis dekat KLCC dan sini. Itu macam mana? Kita nak ambil pandangan.
Okay, I explain.
Unit amal you tuduh merempuh polis.
Ada video dan gambar dia baru tempat dia orang polis yang blok depan.
Let me explain Unit Amal's job. Unit Amal jobs is to protect the people. Right? When the barricades was broken, everyone seen. They tried to stop. But when people rush to the front, Unit Amal's job is to go to the front to protect the people. Ya. Betul lah, kita kena lari ke depan. Kalau mereka lari ke depan, tak.
Tak tengok ya.
Tengok tak tengok. Arahan kita untuk Unit Amal ialah ikut orang ramai untuk maintain order, peace and order. So kalau rakyat sudah move ke depan, Unit Amal kena ikut move ke depan to ensure yang front line ni tak kena pukul, yang boleh.
Tapi to be fair to Unit Amal, saya akan lihat video tu dan I get my staff to show ya. Tapi umumnya saya perhati Unit Amal right through ya. Saya berjalan dari Masjid Negara, kemudian dah jalan lama, kemudian naik jeep tu, Unit Amal memainkan peranan cukup baik. Ya. Kalau sudah kata satu insiden di depan Sogo, KLCC, insya-Allah saya akan perhati. I mean, right away selesai PC saya akan lihat. Ya, tapi ini kena bayangkanlah apa yang Unit Amal lakukan.
In the future, you say there's a suggestion to hold such gathering in a stadium and closed area. Would you tell people to do that?
Saya pendirian saya hak rakyat untuk berhimpun secara aman mesti dipertahankan. Dataran Merdeka, keputusan Kerajaan UMNO Barisan Nasional menghalang itu tidak waras. Jadi kalau tanpa insiden itu dan seperti mana yang Tian Chua sebut, kalau isu dia langgar Dataran Merdeka, tangkap situ, ambil tindakan situ walaupun kita tidak setuju. Ini tidak. Dia pergi serang semua. Ya. Apa umpamanya jaminan saudara bahawa kalau perhimpunan di stadium itu tidak akan diganggu? Ya, ejen provokator, ada orang bangkit. Tengok yang kena tangkap, yang menahan orang. Sekarang kita duk kumpul. Yang tangkap wanita seorang, itu dia pakai baju bersih. Ya, dia tak pakai baju polis, dia tak pakai baju bersih.
Jawapan untuk itu ya, saya tegaskan sekali lagi. Saya anggap polis, sungguh pun kita lihat ada keganasan. Tetapi polis mempunyai keupayaan untuk bertindak profesional. Dan dalam perhimpunan yang sebelum ini, perhimpunan hijau, sungguh pun ada larangan, akhirnya polis membenarkan penggunaan padang di Kuantan. Perhimpunan March, Women's March, sungguh pun pada mulanya ada halangan. Akhirnya bila perakan itu mencerobui masuk ke dalam padang, polis membenarkan proceeding ini berterusan. Again, disperse peacefully. Dalam kes keputusan perbicaraan Anwar Ibrahim, bila polis akhirnya nego setuju kita berhimpun di di kapak depan mahkamah, kita uruskan dengan baik dan bersurai secara aman. Isunya, bila polis menghalang rakyat untuk berhimpun di tempat itu dan buat barricades dan tembak tear gas, ia jadi kecoh. So, if we want to be fair, benarkan perhimpunan, baik pun di padang, baik pun di kapak, dan kita jamin keamanan dan perkara yang tidak diingini tidak akan berlaku. And they were proven. It was proven. So, saya tidak anggap kita lost control pada hari itu. Kita telah bertindak secara tertib. Yang lost control is the police.
Okay, terima kasih banyak. Last question, alright.
The Deputy Prime Minister said that the opposition as well as Bersih has to take full responsibility for all the damages and injuries on Saturday. Can you please comment on that?
Injury.
The Deputy Prime Minister.
Deputy President of?
UMNO.
Alright.
Can you comment on that?
No, I think, as I said, we have leadership who clearly disconnect with the sentiments and aspirations of the masses. You have 300,000 people there and completely dismissed of no consequence. And now just casting aspersions and blame. If he is responsible leader, he should have called for independent inquiry.
MalaysiaKini.com.
Pada Malaysia Kini.
Pada Malaysia Kini, Malaysia Kini.